At the moment, I am actively failing my goals, and I am totally okay with that. And if you think I am absolutely crazy and you want to know exactly why I don't care that I'm failing my goals and how to deal with the fact that you might be failing your goals in 2021 as well, then make sure you watch this video all the way to the end. This video is going to be all about dealing with the fact that you're failing your goals at this time. Now, I won't lie to you, failing your goals can feel like you yourself are a failure. It sucks as a feeling to know that you worked hard on a certain project and that you didn't achieve what you wanted to achieve out of it. I would be absolutely lying if I, said that it didn't feel bad. But ultimately, failing your goals is not a huge deal. And what I want to do in this video is present a few solutions for how you can deal with that sense of failure when you are not achieving your goals. And so the first thing that I would say is something that I've brought up in videos beforehand. This is a piece of advice that I learned from Mark Manson, not directly obviously because I've never met him, but he said it in an interview and I really took it on board as something that I think is actually worthwhile spreading throughout kind of the self-improvement space. And that's the idea that you shouldn't set goals. Sorry, there's a massive wasp outside of my window. And instead of setting goals, what you should be doing is setting daily habits instead, because it is those habits that are going to get you to take the daily action required to achieve what it is that you want to achieve. Setting a goal in and of itself actually does nothing. And what I would encourage you to do is, yes, you can probably still write down your goals, but once you've written down your goals, figure out what it is that you have to do to achieve that goal, what is within your power to make that goal happen. And then forget about the goal entirely and just start working on those habits. Now, one could argue, well, if you're making a habit, then isn't that basically the same thing as a goal? Because you're still setting yourself like a target that you need to do. And to those people, I would say, shut up, don't poke holes in my theory. And also, yes, kind of, but this is more action focused, whereas goals are oftentimes more of a mindset that you set for yourself. It's something far out in the future, whereas habits are something that you are doing right now. The second thing is that if you are feeling like you should just quit on these goals, I would encourage you, don't quit your goals just yet. Now, let me be clear, I'm not the kind of person that's going to tell you never quit your goals, because that's stupid. Instead, before you quit your goals, I believe there are a few things that you should do just to make sure that, you're not quitting your goals prematurely. And what I often suggest is adjusting that goal. So let's say if you wanted to lose £100 by the end of the year and you started off in January and it's now August and you've only lost like £20, chances are you might not hit that goal of losing £100. And if you get to the end of the year and you've only lost like £30 at the end of the year, you're going to feel like a total failure. You're going to feel like, oh my God, I didn't even make it halfway to my goal. I'm a failure as a person. And so what I would suggest that you do is, if you now have a general idea of how fast you're going to be losing weight, alter your goal to fit that. If over the first 8 months you've only lost like £20, then you will most likely only lose maybe about £30 towards the end of the year. Make that your new goal, or maybe like stretch it a little bit to like £40. See if you can accelerate that process just a little bit better, because only getting to like £35 lost out of 40 instead of 35 out of 100 is a much different achievement. In one, you made it over 80% of the way there, and in the other one, you didn't even make it halfway. So if you need to adjust your goal, that is not the same thing as failing your goal. You are just making a necessary concession in order to not burn yourself out or plummet yourself into depression. The third thing is to start embracing failure. Contrary to what a lot of people say, failure is your friend. Failure is always going to have some kind of lesson that you can learn from in one way or another. This is not to say that big failures are not going to hurt. Like if you invest your life savings into crypto and you lose all of it, that is a failure that is going to hurt. But there are lessons you can learn from that. Diversify your investments. Don't put all of your money in Dogecoin. You know, things like that. That statement probably bought me at least a few dislikes on this video if it ever gets a little bit bigger than the typical growth. But the point is, like, there is always a lesson that you can learn. The most important thing is that you are always moving forward. As long as you are taking continuous amounts of action, then you are doing absolutely fine. There's nothing more that could be asked of you. Just take action and keep moving forward towards what you want to complete. Keep working on those daily habits. Always remind yourself that what you can do now is probably miles and miles ahead of what you used to be able to do. So me, for example, I still have a very, very small YouTube channel. Like, it's growing slower than pretty much any YouTube channel I've ever seen, probably just because there's a lot of stuff that I suck at on here that I'll get better with over time. I get about 1,000 views a month, and there was a time where I couldn't even get like 1,000 views in a year. Right now, I am miles ahead of where I used to be when I started putting videos up on this channel like 2 years ago. And that is something that I am very, very proud of. So even though I have not reached my goal, because when I started this, I thought, yeah, 2-3 years easily, no problem. I'll have like, you know, like 10-20,000 subscribers. I'll be like making a full-time income off this and it'll be no problem at all. And now I'm 2 years in and I'm nowhere close to that goal, but I'm miles ahead of where I was at the beginning. And that's something that I'm proud of. And that's something I would encourage you to be proud of as well. Always recognize how far it is that you have come with your goals. Understand that failure isn't forever. You will always find a way to move forward in one way or another. So just believe in what it is that you are doing. If this is something that you actually want to achieve, if this is something that you actually want to work on, then keep on moving towards it, because even if success is not guaranteed, it's far more likely if you keep working at it, if you take the daily action needed in order to achieve that goal. So that's all I've got for today. Make sure that you leave a like on the video because it really helps to boost the channel and the algorithm and stuff like that. Subscribe if you're new here. I put out a video every single day all about confidence and life advice for the average Joe. So if that's what you want, subscribe to the channel, share it with all your friends, leave your thoughts and questions in the comment section below, and that's it. So thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in future videos here on this channel very soon.